Thank you, Diane, for your willingness to share a little bit about team building and, well, how you have built your team and helped your team members build teams, because you have been the Queen's Court of Sharing 8 times. And I don't even know if you've been a queen. Have you been the queen?
I was the queen in 1999.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot. Anyway, so she was queen, the whole nation back in the Ruby days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's impressive. And anyways, why don't you share, Diane, what or how you've been building your team and helping others build their teams, and where you find people and who and.
Okay, so let me answer your first question, then we can go from there.
Okay, I know I'm getting carried away.
It's okay, it's all good, Kathy. So what I'm going to share with you guys is my mindset when I was a new consultant. So here's the deal. I had zero confidence, zero self-esteem. I knew that I could do this because I was really good at connecting with people, and I knew I could sell the product, but don't ask me to share the opportunity. Part of that is because my very first team member quit the day that she joined. So I thought, well, if that's any indication of what the rest are going to be like, forget it. So I was very, very reluctant to team build. I also thought it was my responsibility. Like if she didn't get off the ground, then that would reflect on me. And what if she didn't do well, or what if she didn't like it? And what I came to realize as I matured and I built my own confidence is that none of this is about me. It's not about me at all. It's doing what Mary Kay asks us to do, which is pass it on. So if I can give you one tip, you guys, take you out of the equation. Yes, you could walk across stage at career conference. Yes, you could go to the lunch, and yes, you could get a big fat commission check. I get all that. But if you guys are okay with it, can we just take that whole what's in it for you, and just set it aside for just a minute? We can come back to that, but let's just set it aside and think about what's in it for her. So you have to realize every woman's in a different place. Mary Kay used to say, we're either starting a crisis, ending a crisis, or we're in the middle of a crisis. And if you ask for any woman, well, let me know when it's a perfect time for you to join. You will never have a team member, ever. It's like, when is it a perfect time to have a child, to plan a wedding, to buy a house? Like, there's never a perfect time for anything. So with that said, let me tell you just a couple little quick scenarios. I have a woman in my unit. She's in her 70s. Her Social Security income is not very much, and she needs to supplement her income, or she literally cannot pay for her utilities and her food. So Mary Kay making an extra $700 a month, she said sometimes even $500 a month, is the difference between her having a fridge full of food and her medicine paid for and all that, or not. It's not a lot of money, but to her, she has no other way at 77 years old or 76 years old. No one else is going to hire her. And so she's got that little window, and she goes, and she loves the product. So Mary Kay is great for her. Then I've got Jennifer, who makes a 6-figure income, who sat down with her CPA last fall, and he took one look at their tax return, because their husband also has a business, and he says, somebody needs to find a home-based business. And he turned to her and said, is there a product that you really love, or a company you love? And she goes, well, I've used Mary Kay for decades. And he goes, you need to join, and you need to have an office in your house. So she came to our unit strictly to get the tax deductions, the half off. And now all of a sudden she's taking off and building this great business on the side. We've got other moms that are empty nesters. They don't necessarily need the money. They want something to do. They need to be valued. They want to be appreciated. They want to be needed. They want to have something fun in their life. We've got single moms in our unit that this literally helps them sock away. They have no extra money. They can maybe make ends meet, but no extra. So this is what's being put in their educational plans for their kids. Or maybe one of my consultants, single mom of 3 kids, it's their Disneyland money. Now she unfortunately or fortunately told the kids that this is what was going to pay for Disneyland. She went down and printed out went to some travel agency and got some brochures on Disneyland, got the kids each a piece of cardboard. They're each decorating it. And she promised them by the end of the summer, she'd have enough money to take the 3 kids and go to Disneyland. So every day they're like, Mom, did you make money? Okay. So they're driving her nuts, but it's a good thing because she wants to have them focus on something positive. They just went through a bad divorce, and the mom is really holding it all together. So what if this isn't about you? What if, yes, you get all the perks, but what if this isn't about you? And you guys, most women are not going to come up to you after a skincare party, or maybe they've been a customer for a year. You don't know what she's facing. Maybe she was just diagnosed with cancer. Maybe she's newly divorced. Maybe her sister just passed away. I mean, who knows what's going on in her life? But I know this from the bottom of my heart that most women can really, really benefit from being in Mary Kay 1 year of their life. 1 year. Come in, hang out. You become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. I don't know about you, but I don't have time for people in my life who have stinking thinking. If they have stinking thinking, I'm just unavailable. I'm unavailable for lunch. I'm unavailable to meet with them. I don't have time in my life to deal with constant negativity and people who are just that way. And so when you're looking for team members, here's what I'd love for you to do. First of all, I want you to realize, if you have a piece of paper, write down number one, it's a mindset. If you say, nobody wants to join my team, I've already talked to 6 of my friends, nobody's interested. Well, let me ask you, how did you ask? If you said, hey, I'm building a team, do you want to join? You want to join Mary Kay? You want to sell Mary Kay? Okay, if you ask me that, I say, no, I don't want to sell Mary Kay. Who wants to sell anything, right? So I'd probably say no to you. So it's a mindset. So write that down. It is a mindset. As soon as you decide, and this is a motto that I say to myself all the time. You ask my consultants, if you start the sentence, they can finish it. I don't chase people, people chase me. And I tell myself that constantly. I don't chase people to join my team or to book a party. They chase me. Now, my goal is by the end of today to have 2 more parties booked. I don't know where they're going to come from, but I've got a list of people that I've met in the last 3 weeks. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to have at least 2 or 3 of those people say yes. It's a mindset when you pick up the phone. So if it's a mindset and people are going to chase you for the opportunity, would you agree that most of the time they don't know what they're saying yes or no to? Like when you say, well, do you want to sell Mary Kay? They might go, well, what does that exactly mean? But if you say something to them like, hey, I'm curious. I use the word I'm curious a lot. I use the word I'm curious or what if. So if I met Kathy and she's super sharp and outgoing and bubbly and all that, I'd say, Kathy, I said, I'm curious. Now that your boys are grown and gone, is there anything on your bucket list that you're working on right now? And she might say, yeah, I want to surprise Frank with this trip to, I don't know, the Philippines or something. And I'd say, wow. I said, so what are you doing right now to make extra money for that? Well, I'm not really. And I said, so have you ever thought of a side hustle, like doing something? She goes, well, I don't know, maybe. And I'd say, well, Kathy, are you sitting down? And I'd say, you might think I'm crazy, but you've been a customer of mine for 9 months and I'm building this great team. And I think maybe, what if Mary Kay could give you that extra money? I'm not saying it is, but what if it could give you that extra money? Would you be willing? You seem like an educated person who would want to make an educated decision. So would you be willing to give me just 20 minutes of your time to hear more about the possibilities? And if it's not for you, that's okay. Because you see, I don't chase people to join, people chase me. So all I ask is 20 minutes to share with you some information. Would you be open to that? Okay, you guys, that, and I know you're going, oh, Diane, could you say that slower so I can write all that down? I remember when Janice used to talk and I'd sit there and go, like, what? Like, how am I supposed to know how to say all that? So here's what I'll tell you. Don't script it. It's not going to sound like you. Sound like you. Talk from your heart. I put myself in their situation. What would I want to hear? Do I want to sell Mary Kay? Probably not. Do I want to change lives? Absolutely. Does it sound silly to think that I can change lives doing a facial? Yeah, but it's true. When women can pause their life for an hour and do some self-care, it opens doors. Let me tell you, it opens their mind. So I use the words a lot about possibility. I do say, well, I know you'd want to make an educated decision. That's called a leading question, which when you're designing surveys, you don't do that. But anyway, you could say that, you know, Kathy, I know you'd want to make an educated decision. So would you be willing to watch a 5-minute video and then just give me 15 minutes of your time? And I know how much you love eye makeup remover. I'm happy to give you one as a gift.
Yes.
See, and so all I'm doing is saying to Kathy, I don't know if this is the right fit for you, but I'd love 20 minutes of your time just to share with you some info. And if it's for you, great. And if it's not, that's okay.
I'm taking a lot of notes, Diane, period.
You're so hysterical. Okay.
Like,
So
that's a good idea.
where do you find them? In my opinion,
Yes.
your best team members. Now, I'm not saying 100% of the time, but most of the time, your best team members are your customers. So anybody who loves the product, I'm going to share the opportunity with. If they buy one thing from me, I want to share the opportunity with. And you guys will get to the point. I think I have a personal team of like 76 people. So it's fun because when you have 76 personal team members, every month you're getting a personal team building commission check of over $1,000. I remember when I was new, that would be my fun money to spend on clothes and shoes because it wasn't part of my family's budget. So when I got like $150 check, I'd get so excited. Now,
Okay, so I have a question. What happens if they're new and they're excited, but they don't have the customer base? So,
okay, when you're new, it's even better. When you're new, it's even better. So let's say Kathy is my brand new team member and she's been in a week. And I'd say, Kathy, let me ask you a question. Let me see where would I go with this one? So I'd find out a little bit about Kathy. Let's say she says, well, I've got 2 boys at home. They're in high school, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say to her, so let me ask you something. If you were to leave the country tomorrow on a vacation for 60 days, and let's just pretend you had a bunch of customers and you want your customers taken care of while you're gone, of course, who would you give the keys to your house? Doesn't matter where they live in the United States, but who would you trust with the keys to your house and people skills that would take care of your customers for the couple of months that you're gone? Who literally would just deliver product for you, make sure your customers were happy and take care of them? Who comes to mind? And she'll rattle off a name or two. I say, okay, great. Do you have a piece of paper, Kathy? Write those 2 people down. And I'd say, now, Kathy, I want you to think of 1 or 2 more people who you just kind of sense they may have said something, but they're a little stressed out over money. They almost feel like they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like they're just a little behind the 8 ball all the time financially. Does anybody come to mind? And she might go, yeah, my aunt and my best friend. And it's okay, jot those down. Who do you know? And then I might ask her, like, who does she know in 3 or 4 different categories? Who do you know that's either just recently had a baby in the last 2 years or is planning on having a baby that might be thinking, I don't know if I want to go back. I think I'm going to stay home for a year or 2. So who do you know who's recently added to their family? And so my goal is to have her come up with at least 5 or 6 people or more, or 10. And with those, I say, star the ones who you think really would be good at this. Like they love people. Who of that list, put a little star next to their name. And so once she stars those 3, then I'm just going to say to her, tell me what you admire the most about that person and tell me a little bit about her. Let's find a video that she can relate to, like a Stephanie Coker video, or I don't know, Leah Loughlin, one of the videos that we have. And all the videos are 5 minutes or under. They're not like Gone with the Wind. And I would just say to Kathy, here's what I want you to say is I need to learn how to share the Mary Kay story. I need to learn how to share the Mary Kay story. So my mentor and coach, Kathy, I'm doing 3 shares with her. And she asked me, of all the women in my life, who do I admire? And you're one of my 3 people that I admire the most. And so I know this may or may not be for you, but I feel comfortable practicing in front of you. So, I'm not above bribery. How does the half off mascara sound? Would you be willing to watch a short video and just ask a couple quick questions so that I can learn how to do this? And so when you're new, you can use that as your
Right.
in the back pocket.
Excellent.
I will tell you, let's say you've been in 2 years and you're thinking, can I use that? Absolutely. You can say, I've just decided to restart my business. Anytime in Mary Kay, you go from a standstill to decide to get going, you're restarting your business. And so you can use that all the time. All right. What other questions do you have for me, Kathy?
Oh, that was just great. I think, because I do have members that are former Red Jackets or almost Red Jackets. Then I have some new ones, that are excited about starting their Mary Kay business. So thank you for answering those questions. But that's mainly it. I think even before you even think about Red Jacket, team leader, car, it's that mindset, like you said.
So I'm going to share with you guys a quote, and some of you aren't going to like me after I tell you this quote. But somebody told me this quote, and it was like being hit with a 2x4 upside the head. So let's just take Red Jacket as an example. Let's say you've got 1 team member, okay, and your goal is to be a Red Jacket. And you're saying to yourself, well, I'll be a Red Jacket, Kathy, by June, by seminar. And Kathy's like, okay, you've got 1 now, and seminar is not for 6 months. So you're telling me it's going to take you 6 months to get 2 people. So what I will tell you is the length of time, this is the quote, the length of time you say it's going to take you to get to your goal is in direct proportion to the confidence that you have that you can do it. So if you were really confident that you could get 2 team members this month, then you're going to do it this month. But if you're not confident, it's in direct proportion to the level of confidence that you have that you can do it. So what I would say is, this isn't about you. What if the person who shared the opportunity with you hadn't shared it with you? Like if Janice had never recruited me into Mary Kay, I know that I would be some hotshot successful person in some other company. I get that. I don't think that I've made the money that I've made that I couldn't have made in corporate America, but my life would have been so different. I wouldn't have been able to be my daughter's Girl Scout leader and room mom and take my son to the dojo to get all the way to his black belt and to work around a law enforcement schedule that changed every 3 months. I mean, all of that, I would have never had that balance had it not been for Mary Kay. So I truly believe that God called me to be in this company to make a difference. So what I will tell you guys is it's not about you. So this is your challenge as soon as Kathy lets you from tonight's call is I'm going to give you guys 24 hours from the time you hear this to make a list. This is your wish list of the 5 women that you would love to have on your team. Now, chances are they may not even know they're on your list, and that's fine. Think about who, if you were at the studio, let's say you guys still had a Mary Kay studio, and one of the new consultants walked in and your friend was on her arm as her guest. It has happened. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, that's my friend. And I was going to talk to her about Mary Kay, but I got a little chicken. Who, I want you to write down 5 people that you, if you knew they were going to say to you, well, yeah, Cathy, of course I'll listen. I definitely want to check it out. Who would you ask if you knew they would say, yes, I definitely will listen? Who would you ask? So Jennifer, one of my consultants in Hawaii, she's been in Mary Kay a year. And guess what happened last week? The neighbor knocked on the door and said, I know this is really short notice, but I have a Mary Kay party in a couple hours at my house and I'm the hostess. And I was wondering in case you wanted to pop by. And Jennifer's face turned really, really red. And she said, I'm embarrassed to tell you that I've been a Mary Kay beauty consultant for a year. They live next door to each other.
Oh my goodness.
When that happened, Jennifer called me and she goes, I am so mad at myself. I said, no, I don't said there's no sense in being mad at yourself. But what does that tell you? She goes, I need to go talk to everybody on my street. I said, so the thing is that she waves to these people. They even share a gardener together. I mean, she knows this lady, but she never opened her mouth and offered. So you guys realize that with so many people doing this big, everybody's quitting their jobs, this huge insurrection where everybody's, leaving and nobody's happy and all this other stuff, and people with COVID and all this, if you don't invite them, someone else in Mary Kay will, or worse yet, some other company will benefit from their skills and talents and not you and not our company. So I'm just going to challenge you guys. You have 48 hours to make this list of 5 people. Actually, you don't need 48 hours, 24 hours. Don't overthink this, gang. Come up with 5 people that you would absolutely love. And then right next to each of their names, I want you to write down the one trait or quality you admire about them. So like for Janice, I might say, I admire her persistence. For my other girlfriend, Lisa, she has a huge heart. She's very kind. For Jana, what I love about her is she's very gregarious. Like there's nothing she's not willing to go do. With my friend, Francine, she's business savvy, but people savvy. So just write down one little thing that you admire about each person, because that'll help Cathy know how to best work with you. And I can't wait to see a picture. And please text me a picture of you on stage at career conference, walking across in your red jacket. And if you're in a red jacket, get your hiney to the lunch, because you are not going to be eating lunch down the hall or whatever out of the vending machine. You want to be at that luncheon. So I would like to personally see a picture of any of you that newly qualified to cross the stage as a red or qualify for the luncheon. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful, Cathy. Anything else?
No, you were so great. I took all these notes. I'm so excited.
Well, you're welcome. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.